So I remember every time that we talk about the idea of Xavier and the fact that when it comes to certain requirements from agencies like the Children Youth Services or whatever it is in your area, um, my mom Sue was always mentioning that, oh, it's bad to move, like, at all. She makes it seem like moving once is probably going to have you red flagged. And I can understand where she's coming from when she had LaFall, Joey, Tyler, and Nakoma. Um, she always tried to kind of strike it out, if not on her own, at least with their respected fathers at the time. And it just didn't work out, and CYS used that against her. My older sister actually had the same situation where she was moving from place to place. It wasn't like she was I can't even say that. It's not like my sister, Lenan, who would move from place to place, and because she just stopped paying rent, she was like, "Fuck this place. We'll stay here until, like, until the wheels come off," kind of shit. Whereas my assistant, it was one of those, they were trying to find a suitable place, suitable place, suitable place. I think it was 4 times in like a year and a half, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of excessive. And Sue always throws at me whenever I'm like, well, I don't think that moving is that big of a deal. And she goes, well, you move every 2 years. And she says that, and my mind immediately goes, well, that is true. I do. After 2 years, I kind of get tired of people's shit. And I'm like, all right, out. I'm done. Don't need to worry about it, because who are you? Like I said, I was the doer. I said that before in other videos. I just did what needed to be done. I took care of things. But today I was thinking about it. I don't even know why. Don't ask. And but I'm gonna tell you why. What came out of thought of, well, maybe I did. And it's the idea that, well, like I said, I just got tired of other people's shit, and eventually it became okay when I lived by myself. I was very content, and then in the process of living by myself, I found Jasmine. And obviously, if you guys know me, you guys know how well that story turned out. But it's always other people that happen to kind of derail things that should be, if you know what I mean. Um, there's always other people that kind of mess up the plan, the, the the course where things are going. I'm not saying that me or anybody else in my immediate circle that I happen to communicate with on a regular basis, and those people know who they are, it's not like we just kind of go, oh, we just need to move. 9 out of 10, if we actually had to leave, is because other people prevented us from living. And I don't mean like, oh, they kept us in the basement. It was just the way their lifestyles were so vastly different from ours. It was just uncomfortable, unbearable, unreasonable to even consider that we stay. I think the place before I got my own place was Bernie's up at the farm. Uh, I was a farmhand, I believe the term is. Took care of ducks, chickens, goats, and horses. It was an interesting experience. It humbles you. But after a while, people kind of get complacent, ask, they have ridiculous requests just to see how far you go, to see how far the situation, you know, how bad it is. And it, we just left. We had to. Um, and before that, what was it? I guess LPV. I guess you guys probably would understand better if I was like government housing. And yeah, there was obviously the idea of other people, but like after a while, it wasn't even the fact that like, oh, I got sick of this place. It was the idea of I had to move forward. I actually went back to Clarion, um, try to get back to the university, and everything unfolded up there. And those people didn't know that situation. It does seem like trouble does tend to find me. I can't lie about that. We have been through too much to just assume that things are just going to be okay. But honestly, when I got my own place, I was okay for a while. And then I got with somebody really special. And we got a place together, and we had a child, and everything seemed like it was finally going right. Maybe I am missing something, you know? Some kind of piece to the puzzle. Maybe I'm not seeing what needs to be done. I'm not seeing the right pattern. I just know that things need to be done, and I do it. People do take advantage of that kind of mentality. I'm trying not to be the angry person that I was before. The person who just kind of told you to, I did hear YouTube has a censorship thing, so I'm just probably gonna say blow rocks and, no, kick rocks, blow bubbles. That's the expression that Misho taught me. There's a balance in that to kind of tell people to kind of fuck off. Yep, I said it. There we go. Just got banned. And without burning bridges, because sometimes bridges are useful. But the right bridges will always stay intact. Like Brandy. I owe her so much. Like, it's unbelievable. I owe her my life. She saved it one time. Multiple times she saved my life. And earlier this week, a friend of mine who I honestly never thought anything would come of it. I wasn't even being nice for the sake of being nice. He needed help, and I was like, look, we'll talk. I understand what it's like. And yesterday, he offered me his car. And I'm not sure you guys understand the magnitude of that. Some of you guys might. Some of you guys might understand the struggle of having to find a vehicle, something within the price range. And I don't exactly have the expendable funds. And he was like, look, I understand. Because the family was trying to get another car, and it blew up. And, God, Dad has been through like 5 cars in the past 2 years. And the sad part is I'm mostly the driver. It's just bad maintenance on their part, and that's why I'm starting to learn more about cars, so I can at least have a better understanding. Like, okay, this sound means that. I can't just rely on you to be like, okay, the car's making this sound, that you'll take care of it. For the family to kind of work, it kind of has to be a cognitive unit, and he understands how hard I work and what I do and how busy I am, and that I really don't like joyride all over the place. If I'm going somewhere, I'm going somewhere. And he was like, look, I understand you're going through some stuff. Here, he has it's an older Cavalier, white. And Danny was telling me, like, man, that's like the first poor man's car. I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. We need a ride. In a couple of days, we'll be able to see potentially Xavier. We'll even be able to talk to him. And a car is definitely something that needs to be in our possession, not something that we're borrowing from somebody else or someone's lending us. Something that's actually in our name. Well, my name. My name. And I don't mean ours as in the household. I mean mine. And I need the idea of moving, which it's full circle, trust me, is the idea of advancing in life, moving forward, trying to do better than where you were and what you were doing. I can't tell you how many times I thought to myself, I've been here too long. I haven't done enough to move forward in my own life. I've done pretty well maintaining life. I've heard that repeatedly, that I don't give myself nearly enough credit for putting up and managing and dealing with and working with and juggling everything that I have to deal with. But that's not enough to just manage life. It isn't. You have to advance. Because if you realize you're in the same place you were last year, I don't mean locational wise, I mean the same mindset, the same position in your job, you haven't really gone anywhere forward, then you're not doing it right. Kids grow up. Adults get older. Plants grow and die. And if you see yourself in the same place, that's just not okay. While everything else around you is growing and advancing, becoming better, becoming more. And if you're still in the same place, And once again, not talking about location-wise, I'm talking about your place in life. If you're not getting better at it, then what are you doing with your time? With your effort? What are you doing with your life? I need to figure out a way to go out there and be somebody. Because if for nothing else at all, Xavier's gonna at least, hopefully, one day look at me and go, that's who he is. And I have to do everything I can between now and then to make sure what that is good. Thanks for listening, you guys.